Howdy everybody, I am Kolik and this is Summoner's War. Now today I'm working on the Rune Optimizer again. One of my guildies asked me to go ahead and take a look at his account and try to do all his Rune optimization for him before uh, free room removal day. And when I first walked into the account, he had over 300 unpowered up runes. So that took a few hours just to wade through all of that. And then I had to get all his teams and stuff like that. But he's got some really powerful monsters. And his runes are just not allocated like they should be. Alright, so this is great example of how you can take the rune optimizer, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and work through it. I've went ahead and entered the standard settings for most of the monsters. I'm not quite sure he's got everything, but he has some monsters that I do not have, and I'm going to try and work through a lot of his monsters, the core of them, if you will, and then hopefully he can figure out the rest. So his monsters are actually a lot better than mine. He's got Sierra, Bastet, Eladriel, Perna, Rakan, Leo, um, two Okeanos, a Juno, a Ganymede, a Mihail. Yeah, he's got some good monsters, but they're not really maximized, and he is missing a Chasun still. As far as mostly relevant things. So I'm going to try and work through here and see what we can do. Now, I've said it before, I've already set up all the settings for him so that it can speed up the results here. So I can go ahead and I've picked up his Bernard and I'm going to hit optimize. Alright, so let's see what we got. Sort by speed. Whoa. So the best speed rune we can get is going to be 15 speed faster than what he's currently at. That's awesome. And it's going to be more survivability. All right, let's take a look at that one. So he's going to have it from. Well, and one of the things I like to make sure on this is when I'm going through here, I'm going to remove this one, is that I'm not stealing any violent runes or any will runes that I might want to use on other really fast monsters. Because then I have to make a decision on it. In this case, stealing it from Galleon, a Swift rune. I'm good with that. Stealing a guard rune. Yeah, I'm good. Bella, I'm good. Yeah, this looks pretty solid. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna equip those and move on. Now most of them, the decisions aren't gonna be quite this fast, but hey, we'll see what we can do, right? All right, so that one's locked. Now we can come back over here and let's see. Now what else has he got? He's got it. So it. Oh well, wait. Let me go ahead. Speed calculator, right? 270 speed. So let me just make sure this is right. 159 speed on his runes, right? So eyeballing that. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Alright, so what did that result tell me? So I need on the stat plus 94. I need 232 speed on the stat. So the stat is his arena team. So let's go ahead and see if we can fix this up. So I need at least 232 speed. I'll go 233 speed and we'll optimize on that. Okay, so it's telling me that I can't reach the amount I need with that accuracy that I would like. Well, and or not on will. So well, let's make the easier requirement first. We'll see if anything. Nope. So I guess we're gonna have to go not on will, and we'll optimize for that. Let's see if we can still get 85 accuracy. Alright, so, yes, I can get, and I only need 233 speed. So let's go ahead and take a look at these results. Now I got 43 different results, or at least the speed I require. So I don't really need to maximize the speed here. Anything within the 237 to 232 range will be fine. So what I'm really looking for here is, wow, there's a lot of high resistances here. That's kind of unusual. Let's look at the max durability of this guy. It's not going to change a lot. I am going to lose some. Evidently, he was on a speed, at least speed HP defense right now. But he's got low accuracy. I don't like that. And he's on violent. No, I don't think that's right either. Okay, so these numbers aren't varying very much. So let's see. Do I have anything that's going to give me pretty good crit, maybe? So Basat can do some extra damage. 40% crit. So I got 4 that could give me 40% crit. One is at 87. Let's take a look at this one and see what kind of runes it is. See if I can give up some of these rune other guys. So a rune off to Saurian, that's fine. Wusa, Emesity. Well, I have to pull one from Emesity anyway, probably. Malachi, Eladrill. Yeah, these look like okay. So I'm going to equip, and I'm going to lock them. Alright, so next up we're going to have Sierra, and I would prefer, now if you're not familiar with Sierra, she doesn't have to crit, she just needs attack percent, and she needs a little bit of accuracy. Now you want her fast if because we need a speed tuner, right? So let's see what we can get here. Now she needs to be okay, actually this needs to be Malachi, because Malachi needs to go first, and then this needs to be Sierra. Alright, so the rune speed, she only needs to be 171. Am I reading that right? Yeah. So we'll come back over here. So she only needs to be 171. We'll go ahead and put 172 just to, you know, be a little fudgy. Alright, so I have plenty of options that are at least 172. In fact, it's telling me that I can have her on violent with that much. And pretty good attack. So let's go ahead and put her on violent. And we'll put her on Will. It looks like he had that selection instead. I wasn't too sure about that because I didn't know what kind of rune depth he has for Sierra. But I figured that would be a good try. So let's see. Oh, it needs to be at least 173. Well, crit is an extra bonus, that's for sure. Accuracy is nice. I do see some need for extra hit points. So let's go ahead and put the minimum attack at, say, 2200. Okay? We put the minimum attack at 2200. Okay. Then let's look at the total damage absorption that we can get. Alright, so this one is going to be about much higher accuracy. So, yeah. Alright, so this one gives us a few more thousand essentially hit points. It's going to give us higher accuracy, which is good for the stuns from the bomb, which don't gain the bonus. A bit more resist. So the question really is, which one do we want? And the next one below is a little bit worse defense, it looks like, but more hit points. I think the runes are not amazing or anything, but I think that first one looks pretty good. So he's going to have about. He's basically going to improve in every category except slightly worse attack. Hmm. Okay. So let's see what it says over here. Now, if I go over here and I say calculate the damage, is a bomb, Sierra, Fate of Destruction, um, is a bomb. Yep, that looks about right. Alright, so it's going to tell me these bombs all weak sauce, only doing 11k. Maybe you need to click ignore defense too, because I would think you wouldn't have to for a bomb. Nope, that takes that into account. I guess because it doesn't have attack buff. Oh, well, we would have attack buff for Bastat. So 17-3. Okay. Uh, well, it's about the same as he has today. It's a little bit less attack, like I said. Um, hmm. Let's see. What if we tried to make it more attack? What could we get? We could get a lot more. Okay, about the same accuracy. You're going to drop hit points, though. Ooh-wee. Let's go ahead and put in 70,000 estimated health. Alright, so this is a cute little way you can cut down some of your options. If you notice, I have still 117 different options. So it's not like I'm cutting down a lot of them. Um, but I definitely are cutting down some. So now I'm looking at it, and the difference is going to be about 600 more damage. But I like the one right below it. The one right below it has a little bit more accuracy, almost the same estimated health. Um, yeah, and it's going to be. I have 600 more damage. That seems pretty good to me. Now, crit is not essential on Sierra, but her third skill does do AoE damage, so you can crit with it. So I do lose a bit of crit. I think he's going to be okay at that selection. And it does make her a bit faster, which means that making her speed tune with Orion and Guild War defense should be easier. So let's go ahead and we'll select this one. Alright, so it comes from Theomars, Zhao Lin. Now, I don't. When he came up to me, told me his teams, he told me that his Zhao Lin's on our and his Necro team. I don't really disagree with that. Um, Zhao Lin, I've tried her in Necro. She does okay. She's just okay though. You're much better off with Fuko, which he has and did not list in that team. So hopefully we can build his Fuko out too. All right, so we got all those. Now we need the last one of his arena team. So we'll put that together, and it's Malachi. All right, now I don't know if we can put Malachi on Fatal. That would be pretty awesome if we can. But let's see. Malachi needs to be. Oh, that's a good point. Malachi is going to have to be faster than Sierra, right? So what was Sierra's speed? Sierra is 181. So Malachi is going to have to be 182. So that's a good point, even though that I didn't have to. Yeah, I don't have any results on that. Let's see. How about a swift set? If I go swift, can I reach it with still triple attack? I can. Okay, so now Malka does need some accuracy bonuses. I'd prefer. Let's see if we can put them on maybe a swift focus set. Yep, and I need more accuracy. That's right, because he's not a leader. Let's see what kind of accuracy I can get. Now, you probably don't need 85 because there are very few monsters that are in PvP that are actually 100% resist. Typically, monsters that are 100% resist are like Rena. Um, Actually, Rena is about the only thing that comes to mind on being 100% resist, and uh, yeah, it's not going to matter. So let's see. He's got at least 50 resist. What kind of max I can get is 79. Um, hmm. So a little lose a little bit on Malachi, it looks like, but he's going to be. Well, I think I took a rune from him and I broke his set. So yeah. Now, how much would I have to drop in terms? I'd have to drop about 50 damage. Really, that's not that much to be able to get more accuracy. I think the accuracy is going to be important enough that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. I'm going to put him right here and pick up this one. Okay, so I'm going to equip and unlock those. These are from Malachi and inventories. All right, so I got that part done. All right, so that is his arena team. Now he said that he would love it if I could improve his Guild War team too. Just do everything and wave a magic wand, right, guys? So that's how the world works. So just wave the magic wand and it starts functioning. Unfortunately, I just don't think that's going to be able to do everything. But he does have really good units, and those really good units do make a good team. The question is whether I can synergize the rest of the team with it. And I don't know the answer to that. So let's go ahead and take a look at speed tuning with Orion. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and drop him, and we'll go Sierra and Perna and nobody. Whoops, that's not very helpful. Alright, so let's try that again. Orion. Spelled wrong. Sierra and Perna. So Sierra's the team lead. Huh. That's a good question. Let's just go in there and like 230 and see what it says, huh? So no, 230. All right, yeah. So is that fast enough? I really don't know. Let's see. What is Sierra again? 181. So total run speed is 81. So I'm going to cap out on Orion. We'll see what I can make Orion anyway. Orion? Yeah, backwards speed tuning, guys. It's a new thing I just invented. Uh, Throws my brain for a loop too sometimes. All right, so um, not many choices on Swift Will here. Um, how about Violent Will? Um, no, don't think he's gonna get his Orion on Will. He's gonna need more Will depth. All right, so let's go ahead and say Swift instead. Let's see what kind of rune can I get. I need. Okay, so 231 is the top one. All right. 231, huh? His base stats are 106. So that'd be 125 rune speed. That's going to be a little bit too fast to be speed tuned with Sierra. So what can I run? I only need something like 115 total run speed, maybe. Um, and that means Sierra rune speed only needs to be plus 79. Or is that way too? She's at plus 81. So that would work with maybe 116. Yeah, 116 would work. Okay, so I need 116 speed, rune speed on Orion, which really is a cap of 116 plus the base on Orion, 222. Now that seems kind of low to me. In fact, if that's going to be that low, maybe I could put it on violent. So we'll see what kind of violent sets he has at cap at 222 speed. No, or yeah, cap at 222. Now, the reason why you ask is like, why am I capping myself at 222? Well, the reason I'm capping myself at 222 is because if I run it at that speed, that means that I can be speed tuned. So when my guy moves, the next person that's going to move is Sierra, regardless of what my opponent does. And that's actually a pretty important point because if my guy can move, then I have will runes essentially for that whole time. And that means that it's a lot harder to kill me. All right, so focus will do. All right, let's go ahead and no, I want at least 221 speed. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. And they're not gonna vary that much, looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab this one. All right. So this is going to be taking runes from all over the place. And some of them obviously need to be leveled up a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and work on that. Oh, by the way, when I remember, guys, I told you that he had me 300 unpowered runes. He also had only 1 million mana. So that was interesting, trying to wade through all the different possible runes and get rid of some so that I could afford to power up the ones he did have. I couldn't even power up legendary runes, 6-star legendary runes. They were mostly unpowered. I couldn't afford to power them. I could afford to power the blues basically and a few select purples to higher levels, 9, just so I could see what kind of rolls we could get so we could actually do this thing. But yeah, he probably has 10, 15 legendary 6-star runes that are not leveled. So you don't know how they're going to roll. Unfortunately, it's not like they're like all amazing substats rolls and things like this. It's just like ones that could be like, well, if it rolled into this substat, or maybe one of these two, it would be awesome. And as we talked in the other rune video last time, that's not that likely to do it. It's like 1 in 16 chance if there's two subs that you like. It's only 1 in 16. It's a big mana investment to make to try and get this stuff. Okay, anyway. So we're going to go ahead and equip this on Orion. Now, the last piece of his puzzle here is Perna. Alright, so Perna, I would like to love it to be on Violent Will, but I'm not confident we're going to be able to get that. It only needs 66 rune speed. Wow. So what's his base speed? Is 109, so that's 175 minimum. We'll go ahead and say 178 maximum. We'll see what kind of runes we can get. And it says absolutely freaking nothing. What about if I want speed? Well, the second one actually doesn't look that bad. I'm going to give up some crit damage. I'm going to gain crit. I'm going to lose a little bit of attack, a little bit of HP. Now, some of these he's going to be able to probably grind back up. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at this one. Whew. So he could grind speed. He could craft on HP on the slot 6. HP and speed could be grinded on slot 1. Oh no, it can't be. HP is gotta be innate, and but he does have a slot free, so he could add in like attack percent, which is good. The slot 2, he could add in. He's got defense percent, so that's okay. Um, Slot 3, yeah, yeah. Well, he's gonna have to work on getting some grindstones and stuff, right, guys? So, yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and equip these runes. All right. Now we're gonna have to take a look at this guy. We want to see what kind of speed he's at. He's at 175. All right. So this guy, Perna doesn't have an armor break. Now, a typical team that I like to do is team Theomars with Perna. So I'd like to be able to have his Perna be slightly slower than Theomars. So we'll see what we can get here. Again, he doesn't have amazing rune depth. Doesn't look like I could get it on will if I went that way. Yeah, that's what the problem is. Alright, so I want to be close though. So I would like to cap it, let's say at 180. Alright. We're going to come over here. Now the bad thing about this thing is when I change monsters, it didn't change any of these other things. So, yeah. Well, attack buff, maybe. Defense break, we'll assume that. First skill, apply. Alright, so this one will do. Alright, we're going to do more damage. Oh, it's probably because I'm missing a rune again. Yeah, I am. Let's see if I can select something that's going to be higher damage. Yep, and of course that's going to be the lower end. So I'd like something with a bit more HP. 50. Let's go ahead and put 5,500 as the minimum. Because I see one right here that's 5,500. And what I'm 6,600. I'm trying to figure out is how much am I giving up in terms of damage to gain more sustainability. In this case, it's going to be a bit. So we'll go ahead and choose that last high one there. Okay. So this stuff comes off of Ganymede, Tark, Theomars, Rika. Yeah. So he's got a lot of monsters. Alright, so what have we gotten done so far? We have a Bernard that is much faster, like over 10 speed faster. We have a Bastat that is tuned to move with Bernard. We have a Sierra that is tuned to move with Bastat. Sorry, Malachi that is tuned to move with Stat, and then Ciara is going to finish up. Is the last one tuned with Stat. So if he runs into any speed team that is slower than his Bernard's going to move first. It's going to, and all his guys are going to get to move and do their stuff, and they get to do nothing. Okay, so okay, so that's pretty good. I like that. Um, all right, so now what? All right, so we have an arena offense together, and we have a Guild War defense together because I added an Orion that's now tuned with Sierra, and it can follow up with a Perna or a Theomars, whichever one he would prefer. Both those should work just fine as a combination in Guild Wars. That's actually one of the tougher teams in Guild Wars is Sierra, Orion, Perna, or Sierra, Orion, Theomars. It's basically something that's a fire damage dealer or will kill fire because you probably want to bring in like fire arena to try and kill Sierra. That's why I really would like to have Sierra more tanky than she is, but he just doesn't have the runes or doesn't have the grindstones yet to make that possible. Okay. So, whew, a lot to talk about, huh? So let's see. What is going to be his second team? Now that is a real good question. I don't have the answer to it. He didn't really tell me what his Guild War defenses were. Um, hmm. Probably he's going to be Eladriel, and either the one he doesn't want to put in Perna or Theomars into the second team, and then Ritesh. Yeah, I like Ritesh. So let's go take a look at Ritesh. I don't have a Ritesh. A little bit jealous of this guy's monsters a bit. All right, I don't. Retest wasn't someone I set up in the settings, so that's why he's. It doesn't show up all his stats here. So let's go ahead and change all these. Actually, let me just go set him up here and make it easier. Retest, HP, crit damage, HP. I want to have at least a 70% crit rate. I prefer could go higher. Obviously on violent, you want at least a little bit of accuracy. We'll say 30. I want to have HP, speed, crit rate, crit damage, and accuracy. Now I want a little bit of accuracy because he lands those taunts or armor breaks. Let's go a little bit. We'll say 30 is minimum. We're good with that. All right. Now, in combination with Retash, that's going to be a pretty nice pull because in combination with Eladriel, because he's going to get the leader skill from Eladriel and will be have more health, so it'll hit harder. Um, so we'll go over and we'll look at Ritesh now. All right, Ritesh. What kind of Ritesh can we get? So right now, his Ritesh is on a tankier build of HP, HP, HP. Huh. And it sucks. Okay. Well, it's only 40% crit. Now, Ritash does not gain crit rate from dealing damage. He gains attack speed on the first skill, so that's always nice that he gains attack speed. Now, revenge is a nice thing, but I don't know. His crit rate to me seems too low to be sustainable, and his speed is pretty low. These other ones seem pretty good. Now remember, he's going to gain, as I said, 50% HP from Eladriel lead, which means he's really going to be packing about an extra 6,000 hit points. So it says only 43k, but really and truthfully, these will be around 40k, and he's actually going to be a damage threat now. With his speed, he'll move pretty soon after Theomars. In fact, if he moves with Theomars, I would think that'd probably be the better combo to move him after Theomars. Yeah, I like that. I think this is going to be a great build. I think he's going to like that a lot. Alright, we're stealing Rune from a Rakan. Now, I don't like this Rune on Rakan. I think Rakan needs to be on Vampire. I have a Rakan personally, and I think he's just awesome on Vampire. Vampire will. Again, not sure his team's going to be set up so that he can use it, but we'll see. Huh? Okay, and actually, he didn't even list Rakan being used anywhere, so we'll see what goes on there. Let's see. So, who else is going to be? What else do we need to do? All right, now I've mentioned this a little bit before, but again, his rune death is not that great. So if rune death is not that great, sometimes it's okay to say go for a month and neglect things like necro. You just say, I'm not going to run necro. I don't care. You know, this rune, I'm not going to run necro. And the reason that actually works is because necro basically requires violent revenge runes on everybody. If you're going to farm dragons, you're going to gain more violent revenge runes, and you don't really need to rune up your entire team for necro. So I'm going to try in the interest of making this video shorter too. I'm not going to bother with that. Instead, we're going to go take a look at some of his other units. Now, he runs a slow Lucian team, which is what I used to run. So I want to be able to see what he's got as far as speed for Chloe. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so his Chloe's going to be able to run 245. That's a respectable amount. Yep, we're going to go ahead and we'll select this and we're going to equip these on Chloe. Alright, so Chloe's got runes. Okay, now I need, he's got a Katarina. Oh, he likes those on rage and he likes it slow. He likes to put his galleon with him. I don't agree with galleon, but that's my personal thing. I think that, yeah, see, I think that you want guaranteed crits from Katarina, and it's pretty important. Every little percent crit rate here that he has less is gonna hurt. But we want to try and maintain his same damage too. Now let's take a look. Now I haven't found this to be incredibly accurate on Katarina, but we'll go ahead and try and see if it ignore. Mine guys and Guild Wars hit 40k, so this doesn't take account Guild War buildings because I didn't tell it to. We can select that though. So anything like 40k-ish range is going to be fine. But you do want it to be. This is a slow Katarina, so you want to make sure that you move after they've moved essentially. 123 speed. That's probably slow enough. Yeah. Now this is different than YDCB's Katarina, who's a speed Katarina, and she runs to run faster, puts on will, things like this. You don't need this for this. This is a Chloe Katarina, and he's got a galleon lead. I don't agree with galleon lead, like I said, but he doesn't have a QB, so, or he doesn't have at least awakened, because I couldn't find him when I went to look. All right, so Katarina is now done too. Now he does have a farming monster. It's kind of important that you rune up your farmer. And also, I think this monster is pretty good in dragons and all that sorts of stuff. So let's see what kind of stuff we can get here. She looks. Huh. So he had her on Blade Rage before, huh? Okay. Well, maybe he's got better rage friends. Um, Now, again, it's not really ignore defense, use Guild War brilliance, no, defense break, attack buff. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. Oh. Okay, so this one says it's going to do more damage. It's got less health, though, substantially less. So let's look for something that's got at least more health than that. Down here. Why isn't it picking up his combo, though? Is it 28? He says it his does. So why isn't it picking up his? Sometimes I find that it does this a little bit weird, and it's probably because you don't have something selected that it thinks you should have. Oh, I see. I bet you're like, Colic, you're so stupid. Why can't you see that? Guys, do you notice it? His crit rate on his Alicia is only 65%, and I have a minimum listed of 85%. That's why it doesn't list his thing. It's because I want a higher crit rate on mine. I want mine to crit every time. Well, okay. Um, we're going to lose a bit of damage to gain a little bit of power. So let's go ahead and he was okay at 140. So let's go ahead and re-optimize and see what we can get. 142. Okay, that's faster than Fame and Hell. About the same thing. Um, I want at least, let's go ahead and put in 145 as a minimum speed. And let's see. Oh, I thought it was 135 maybe? Let's see what kind of damage we can, comparison we can get. So, on 135, a little weaker on damage. A little less hit points, but will be more crit rate. So we should crit every time on farming. So let's take a look at it's 25-4 is what I'm looking at. Alright, let's try it with Fatal. Fatal says he has no rune sets. Okay, let's try on Swift. Okay, so Swift Rune says I can go a bit faster, a little bit less health, and less damage. So it's going to be Rage. I wish there was a way to flip back and forth between those to show you like here's the three sets that I would like to use and show me the possibilities side by side. Maybe in the future the Rune Optimizer will have that functionality. We can always ask, right? We can always dream. Now this one, it gains a lot of survivability for only a small decrease in damage. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. Now I know he's got uh, Tarks, but he said he couldn't get his speed Dragon's Run going, and I think I know why. It's because he doesn't have the rune depth that he needs. Okay, I know that sounds bad, but that's what it looks like to me. He just doesn't have the rune depth. Now that one took something from Lucian, so let's go ahead and set up his Lucians. Um, Now the problem with setting up his Lucians when I looked at it was is that I didn't see anybody who's also an attack bar buffer. I mean not attack bar buffer, but an attack buffer and a crit rate buffer. Now you can run slow Lucians with Chloe, Seek, Lucian, or Chloe, QB, Lucian. Though Seek is better because he can help clean up the leftover guys, but I don't think he had either one of these, so I'm not sure how he's going to set these things up. I'm pretty sure that his Lucians just weren't high enough crit to start with. But yeah, anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and we'll put back these in here. Ignore defense because it's Lucian and amputation magic. Now, when you do this, also remember that this is per card that is estimating. So it's not per attack. So it's not like he really only hits for this little. He hits for a lot more, but it's per card. So we'll go ahead and we'll just go ahead and take the first one right there. And lock that. So then now we're going to go through and we're going to do the second Lucian. And I want these Lucians to be really close tuned in speed, so I want something that's going to be very, very close to that. Now I drop quite a bit in damage here, so one thing I always like to do is take a look at the other damage set. Now usually I would look at Swift, but these are not speed runes, speed Lucians, so I want to make something that's not that far away. Okay, so that's going to be a bit of an issue because I'm looking at those speed ones are kind of faster. Alright, so let's take a look back at Fatal. Actually, let's go weird. Let's go blade. Blade. Sometimes you can find something. You can go ahead and select no set sometimes, and you might find better things for Lucians with blade. Um, blade revenge, huh? Unfortunately, they're still kind of fast. So let's go back and we'll go for fatal again. And no set. Although these are still kind of fast. So this other Lucian, he's at 103. Well, that's going to suck. What he really is going to have to do is probably try and find some speed on some of these, but there's no speed, not even to be grinded. So this has no speed at all. Alright, that does make it a bit more difficult. Basically, his Lucians aren't going to be as well tuned as you would like them to be. You would like them to go snap, snap, right, one right after the other and be good. But he's just doesn't quite have the runes to be able to do that unless I go ahead and rerune, take that other one and redo it so that it runs faster. I mean, it's possible. You can select a different rune set like that. In fact, let's go ahead and do that just to show you how to do it. So I'm going to go back to the first Lucian. I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to click unlock runes. Now you can see that this tab still says where they originally came from. I'm going to leave this tab up. Okay. And now I'm going to optimize on the original Lucian. And it's going to give me the first set again, right? Which is what it did. I'm going to choose one that's actually a bit faster, but it's a bit weaker. So let's go ahead and choose one of these, say 109 builds, like this one. Okay, and we will equip, and we will lock this one instead. So if you follow these directions, you would be taking the runes off of the first one, and then you'd be putting them on the second one. Well, you'd be taking the runes off the first build that you had, then you'd be removing them and putting different runes off here. And so they would end up being in the same places that you're anticipating, namely your inventory. Okay? So, yeah. Alright, so now I'm going to go back and we'll do the second Lucian. And now, if I go and take a look at second Lucian, 109, I bet I can get something that's pretty close to it. Alright, that's a little bit weak. Let's see if I can get a Rage Rune that is stronger. 112 is pretty close. Let's see where they're from. Julie ran. Yep. Alright, so, yep. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take these and we're going to strip them off and we're going to put them on here. So now, what I have is I have a speed clearing, not a speed clearing, but a Lucian combo team runed up. I have his Guild War defense set up. I have his arena defense set up. Well, arena offense set up for Sierra for the bomb team. His Lucians should be able to farm giants just fine. Alright, so right now he's running a Bella and Giants. That should be his Galleon. There's just no question there, guys. That should be the Galleon. Alright, so now what do we have? Let's reset up his. Let's make sure we have the Dragons team set up. And that's what I'm going to wrap up with, I think. He should be able to. Maybe I'll take a look at a Copper and Messity combo. Because that runs a little bit different. But his Messi is only 5-star anyway, so he's not really using it, I don't think. Okay, so. And a Dragons team, you want. His Dragons team is weird. He still runs Elidrill. I don't think he needs to run it. You want your Vertihill to run last, not first. A lot of people make that mistake. So let's go ahead and we'll go with Varamos. Varamos needs to be one of your faster units in here. So you're worried about speed. Now I would like Nemesis on him also. So maybe he has enough Nemesis runes. That would be cool. Alright, so he has enough Nemesis runes, and I can get enough accuracy, so that's good. And I can run him pretty fast. That's also good. And yep, we're gonna go ahead. And I'm not really happy about his HP here, but beggars can't be choosers. As far as that goes, his HP is what it is. We'll go for Bella. Now I want Bella on Nemesis, which is what I selected earlier in the settings. So I'd like to have a little bit more HP than that. So I only can give up. I can gain about 2,000 HP by dropping 3 speed. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this one. Unless I want resistance. Do I want resistance? I don't think he should be getting resistance. So we'll go ahead and equip this. Now I say that he actually has it listed in his Bella that he runs it in R5. Or sorry, R4. He said he couldn't get his R5 team running. And I think the reason because he can't get his R5 team running is because he doesn't have. He was trying to get it soon. Well, he has a perfectly good healer in Mihang, which is the water Chisun, and she's actually really good also. Her attack, her heal scales on her attack, so you definitely have to put her in the back line. But she also does an AoE cleanse when she does it. So you want to rune her with like speed attack, but with HP subs on the attack percent runes. Something's not that high demand for your other monsters, so generally speaking, you can get some pretty nice HP percent on these slot 4 and slot 6. And you want attack and HP percent, preferably on 1 and 3 and 5, and obviously speed too, but and resistance, I want every stat, just like it is. But the fact that she self cleanses, I mean, she basically gives you a second cleanser. That's pretty nice. Built-in healer. So let's see. Okay, we got Bella down. All right, they're both pretty fast. We want a Verd. We're gonna go ahead and do Verd, and let's see what kind of speed we can get out of Verd. I don't want a fast Verd. Maybe we can get a Violent Revenge Verd. Um, with a little bit of survivability. It's got a little bit more attack. I do like a little bit more attack. 162. That should be slow enough so that he'll move behind the other monsters. Right now he's got a couple other. Yeah. All right. So, I saw this video that Rakan soloing Dragons B10. So let's kind of see. No, he doesn't have anything as far as that goes. What about Vampire? No. How about less crit? No. I guess he's not going to have a Final Con soloing Dragons B10, huh? I thought that'd be pretty cool. Can't get HP though. I kind of like that. Yeah, let's go with that. So that's his Recon built. And really, truthfully, all these things are going to go just that fast. So it's just a matter of choosing your priority and what you're going to do first. Okay, so I think Theomar should be his fourth guy in there. So that's his whole Dragons team too. I like reusing the units as much as you can between these things to concentrate their runes. So now, what do we have left we want to put up? Oh, it looks like I didn't do Illidrall, right? And I want him to have for Guild War defense. So I want Illidrall to be HP, HP, HP. And I'd like him to be kind of fast. So he ran a defense rune on his before. Okay. I'm not so sure that you need to run one, but that's odd that HP, HP, HP only gives me 34,000 HP. Isn't either drill like super tanky? Alright, so let's look at what's the max. Wow. There you go. How about we say like a minimum 160 speed? That's not that fast. So we get a 40k Ela drill with 1.2k defense and mm, 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 uh, question I guess is how much resistance. Do we want some resistance? I'd like kind of having resistance on this guy. So let's go ahead and put 40 in. See what good compromise I can make. So 55 would cost me basically nothing. Okay, so let's up the resistance. So 55 resistance, a 61 would cost me basically nothing. A 68 would cost me basically nothing. I kind of like the sound of that. Um, oh, we'll drop a little bit. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick up 68. So now we have a pretty tanky Eladrill with high resistance. Okay. Um, hmm. So what else do we need? Well, to be honest, I think that's actually going to solve most of his problems. But let's go ahead and take a look at some other monsters. How I like to set up these. Now, I like to set up pandas. Now, I do not like to set up the fire panda as violent. I used to have this guy on violent, but the more violent turns that you take during R5, the more the boss gets to put up all the debuffs and stuff. The fire panda really, his job is just to take the hits. So Swift is actually not a bad set on him. Swift even defense percent. Um, you just want him tanky, 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 and so I'm gonna put up. Yeah, we'll go ahead and be okay with these, and you can say hi to the train if you hear it. All right, so hi train. All right, so this thing right here, this first build, is gonna be like 50% more survival than his build and still has more upgrades to go. Um, that's cool. It says we can have some wiggle room in here. Uh, he's got a bit of crit on his, but I'm not worried about crit. So let's go ahead and we'll take one that is faster. 168, 173, 191. We want at least in R5, you'd like to have that 15 accuracy, so let's go ahead and take those out. Uh, we'll go ahead and say 190 speed. Alright, so if I'm at least 190 speed, I can still have the resistance I want and the accuracy I want. And crit rate's going to suck, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and take this one. Alright, now he only self heals and self cleanses. That's one of the reasons why he's okay with other runes other than like violent, because he technically he does have a heal, but that heal also puts out all these things that the other guy can heal off of too. So let's take a look at his Colleen, and yeah, normal violent revenge. Okay, so I'd like to have his Colleen be even more accuracy. I can get 50. What kind of giving up for that? I'm giving up a lot. So let's go ahead and we'll just go stick with this one. Now, you notice I don't care really if it's HP or defense on this, and that's because calling's basically used in two places, either raids or um, necro. Okay. In fact, I use it in both. And in necro, if your monster gets stolen, your defense is replaced by a flat number. But your AP HP stays the same as what you originally were. So it's actually better to have defense as your defense rather than HP as your defense. Okay, if that makes any sense, as your damage absorbing capability, if you will. Because if your defense base, when he steals you, you have less effective hit points than you originally did, versus if your HP base, you have the same. So it's easier to kill the stolen unit. Alright, so shoot. Yeah. Um, 90k. Let's see what's going to cost for 100k estimated health. Can't reach it. See, I told you guys, it needs to improve his runes. So 90k. Sure. I'll go ahead and take a 90k one. Now, another monster that I think is really good for R5, but I like for frontline is Lisa. So that's why I put her on only defense. Defense. So she's pretty solid. So let's see. For 5 less, I can gain 10,000 more hit points. And well, the accuracy would be nice. I don't really want to give up 10k, 20k hit points for it. So we'll go ahead and select this one. Okay, so most of those are from his inventory, as you can see. Let's see what else he runs. He runs Konamiya. Konamiya in there. Kona, I'll always like to run on Nemesis if I can, and you always want to run high resist. So his Kona, let's see, right, a 96. 96 is good, right? 97 is basically the same. Okay, we'll go ahead and run that. Konamiya. Alright, now I know I haven't built up all his units out. He doesn't have his, I do want to build Mihail up for him. So I'm kind of jealous of having a Mihail, I have to admit. It looks like a really cool unit. Wish I had one. Let's see. So survivability. And these aren't going to be that tough. It just doesn't have the rune depth to try to get all these guys to be really, really powerful. But that's a lot better. I like that. He's slow though. This one's going to be not quite as defensive, but 10 faster. So go ahead and equip him. Okay. So you can pretty much get the gist here. These are his most important monsters. I made most of the important decisions. The only thing that you should be aware of next is like you want your Mauve to move, like say after Thrain and after Area and after Barbata. So those decisions are pretty nice. Well, they're pretty easy. I mean, the teams for TOA hard is pretty much don't let them move. So the defenses really don't matter as much. It's nice to have more defenses, but it doesn't matter because it rarely impacts your ability to proceed, except maybe on a few boss stages. And I don't even know. He didn't actually tell me his TOA hard team. I'm just looking at his monsters and trying to make a guess on what his team is. But yeah. So that was pretty long. I hope this is gives you an idea of how to do your own free removal day and what kind of decisions and stuff that you can make in it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed and learned something. And this is Kolek signing out.